Hello everyone, this is White Wolf. We are going live and we are going to be talking about detachment, seeing yourself as energy, seeing yourself as consciousness, but seeing yourself and having the ability to take control over your reality and knowing that you have the ability to detach from the illusion so that you can manifest and create your own illusion, and learning how to be detached from that and finding the inner strength and allowing yourself to be an immovable force, allowing yourself to be an electromagnetic kinetic source energy, and allowing yourself to be that energy that penetrates any outside forces, any interference, anything that's trying to come against what you're trying to create, and knowing that you have the ability to control your inner world so that the outer world does not control what you do or get in the way of what you want to become in that moment. So practicing detachment is practicing not reacting and not just acting out of impulse and not just acting out of meaningless thoughts, but giving yourself meaning and giving everything that you're manifesting meaning and making it more flavorful and more digestible. And learning how to detach from the illusion is really understanding that you're not allowing the false illusion to interfere with what you're trying to create or do or think or feel or act. So detachment is a purified sense of wanting to know yourself, wanting to become yourself, and wanting the algorithm to be much more fluent and much more vibrant. And as you see yourself as energy and you have the ability to control yourself and to have acceptance within yourself and to accept that there will be challenges, there will be trials and tribulations, there will be things that try to come against you, but you don't have to be affected by it. So detachment allows you to be unaffected by the outside forces. So we have to change our inner world, we have to change what's inside of ourselves, we have to change our personality, our traits, our emotions, our ego, and we have to fully detach from it in order to realize that we are not it. So when we realize that we're not the detachment that we're seeking, but we are the beingness and the awareness that implements the detachment. So we are the energy that allows everything to be created and generated and manifested. So if we are that already, we are detachment. So when you're detaching from that, it could be from people, places, and things, being a people pleaser, or trying to please your significant other within a relationship and not seeing that they have free will as well, and not trying to make them your doormat or something like that. So detachment is in many different forms. When we grow and we change and we awaken upon this journey, we are detaching from what makes us small, what makes us not linear, but we become an endless supply, and we become this electromagnetic kinetic source energy field, and we just start to really ignore and repel all the negative energy, the toxic energies, and also situations, circumstances, and experiences that we really don't want to experience. So detachment allows us to change our outer experience and realizes that we're focusing internally so that we can have more depth and maturity and a sense of truth and alignment and resonance within ourselves. So when we do this, we are realistically, and we're having a sense of perception and knowing that every time that we take a glance within our awareness, what is the reason for us being here? What is the reason for creation? What is the reason for allowance? What is the reason for empowerment and manifestation and subtracting and having more self-love and self-compassion? Is really understanding that we don't allow anything to occupy our space when we're practicing a healthy form of detachment. That means we're being detached from certain norms in society that we deemed as normal. We were force-fed that was normal, and we're kind of detaching from that and not making sense of it anymore. Like some of us don't have to be married, and some of us don't have to have children. Some of us don't even have to have bank accounts if you really don't want a bank account. Some of us don't really need to dress like everybody else in society. But that's what we're force-fed and that's what we're taught. But when we detach from that, somebody could really dress like they're in the 1950s. and they could really imbibe that vibration, and they could really be that if they really wanted to. So realizing that every time that we detach, that enlightenment does not have a look. Enlightenment is not just a word. Enlightenment is not just an experience or a manifestation or a deeper state of consciousness, but it is everything. Living your life like a guided meditation is literally making the decision to be detached. It's very healthy, it's very fluent, it's very direct and to the point, because you are not taking on all the other stuff. And you're wanting your world, you're wanting heart, you're wanting vibrancy, you're wanting truth for the very first time probably in your entire life. Because once you're practicing that discernment and seeking out that discernment, that you have the ability to be detached from people, places, and things, certain ideologies, certain religions, certain spaces of consciousness that everybody talks about. Because your enlightenment is your enlightenment. I could say all of this stuff, and it would not mean anything if you didn't adopt it and implement it in your own way. That means you're your own free being. That means you're your own free energy. That you are energy, and that you are the appearance of light. So the appearance of light is understanding the discernment of knowing yourself and being true to yourself and wanting to know deeper of who you really are. And knowing that you don't have to have anything to occupy your space, meaning that you don't have to have anything infiltrate your space, meaning that you don't have to have anything throw you in a weird mood swing, throw you off energetically, or put you in a position to feel like you have a position because you're positionless. It means that you're omnipresent when you're learning how to be detached from the illusion. So I hope everyone is doing well. If you've never been here before, this is White Wolf. I hope everybody's doing well. Also, you guys can book private sessions, and we're probably going to be doing some healing energy or meditation later. I do not know, because I never know how long these things are going to be. But you guys can book private sessions with me. Just shoot me a text on TikTok, and then we can get information and things of that nature to book a private session. And I do live readings as well. So I hope all of you are doing well and having the understanding and the perception to know what you're looking at, to know what you want to perceive, and to see yourself in a much different light every time that you're choosing to detach from the illusion. And when you see past the deception of everyday human life, where you're seeing past the deception of relationships, you're seeing past the deception on how we live our lives, how we should always be emotional, that we can never transcend the ego, that we can never absolve all of our problems with solutions and really get to the root cause of it. And why does it feel bad? Because our emotional guidance system kicks in. And really understanding that that is a complete falsehood. Now, I'm not saying that you won't have your emotions or you won't have your troubles and you won't have clearing within yourself, but it doesn't mean that you can't conquer it and that you can't rise above it. And it doesn't mean that you can't level yourself out and come to a true state of balance. Because detachment is all about balancing yourself. And it's really balancing, like, maybe I do need to ground for 30 minutes. Maybe I do need to eat something. Maybe I do need to fast if I really need to fast. Maybe I just need to use my intuition and my guidance system that allows me to discern and know what I need to do, when I need to do it, and then I do that said thing. Which gives you a level of knowingness and really accepting yourself and knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, and knowing what meaningless thoughts are and what actual thoughts are, and what is positivity and what is negativity. And I'm not saying just to be overly positive, because I don't think that works. But what I am saying is practicing detachment is the most purified sense of really getting to know yourself once again. Getting to know yourself, reclaiming your power, reclaiming and acting on purifying the distortions, the root cause of your problems, and what tries to infiltrate your space, and being aligned to your energy and being grounded in everything that you are, and having a level of respect and continuity and being consecrated within what you want to bring forth. Rather it's a vision, rather it's a meditation, rather it's a manifestation, rather it's really just wanting better relationships within your life. It doesn't matter what it is, but The only thing that matters is that you learn how to be detached so that you have this beautiful rainbow energy around you that doesn't allow any other force except the light of awareness, that driving force that makes everything generate and appear and be created. So what I've developed over the years was this rainbow energy. It's a mixture of auras, not a mixture of energy, but a mixture of auras that doesn't allow me to go so far off the deep end, and it doesn't allow me to have anything come in from left field. And that's what detachment is. It means that there's a level of energy and hierarchy and reshaping the energy and the velocity of it, and seeing how quickly you can become the essence of source energy in that moment. Knowing that discernment inside of you to be detached, knowing what detachment is, and knowing that you have the ability to ask the question, what is detachment? Because a lot of us don't even think we have the ability to ask a question, or even question ourselves, or question enlightenment, or really question your masters. Even a teacher that you have, you can still question them. It doesn't mean that they're so above you, and it doesn't mean that they're more than you. But it actually means that you're kind of picking up on the signs, and you're just kind of past that, and you don't even have to listen to them anymore. It doesn't mean that you don't respect them or what they did for you in that moment, but it means that you respect the energetic exchange that you had with them, and then you were able to have a level of discernment that, oh, I've kind of grown up. I've kind of grown out of that, and then now I'm moving on to developing my own teachings or developing my own meditations, my own healing modality, so that I can actually detach even from that and learning and discernment and acquiring, knowledge, true knowledge, not just knowledge in a book, but the knowledge of experience, the knowledge of life, the fruits of life that you live on and that you do every single day. Rather, it's eating breakfast, meditating, exercise, then meditating again and living out your 9 to 5. It doesn't mean that you can't have a level of discernment, detachment, and honor within that configuration. It just means that it could be different from other people. But it doesn't mean that you don't carry yourself a certain way. It means that you're carrying yourself with a lot of heart and grandeur, and knowing that, oh, I have a coworker who complains all the time about his job. I don't have to take that on. I can listen to it. I can actually, to the point where I'm listening to it, but I'm not listening to it. And I don't have to take it on, because that's not avoidance. That means that you're not allowing it into the radio frequencies. Because you're like a radio, and you're like, okay, I want the hip hop channel, I want the country station here, but he's kind of playing heavy metal, and I don't want that in my ears, and I don't want that in my space. So it's like, you have the ability to be like, okay, even if you listen to somebody, you could listen to me and be like, I don't really resonate with that. It means that you're not really attuned to that frequency, or you don't align to that resonance or that truth, and that's fine. It's the same way with me. I could listen to somebody and be like, oh, that's just not for me. But it doesn't mean that it's distortion, but it just means it's a different energy. And then that's how we allow everybody to have their own truth, and everybody be in their own detachment, in their own illusion, in their own sense of authority and discernment and alignment, so that they have a sense of resonance and truth, but it's respected because we're respecting free will as we're seeing it. That's somebody else's free will. That's somebody else's bliss or happy place. And then we have to discover that we're here to find our own sense of heaven on earth, our own happy place, our own sphere of light, and our own realm, if you will. So that's what I think detachment is that we're here to find what works for us, what helps us get back into alignment, and also what helps us develop the sense of like, that's not for me, I don't resonate with that, I don't attune to that, that's not my attunement, that's not my gift. And also feeling like you have to always feel drained when you go to the store. If you don't detach, then you're always going to feel like shit when you go to the store, right? You're always going to feel bad when you go to the store, and then you go to the store and you're going to have to sage again, and you're going to have to clear all the energy. But what if you could go to the store and you were that being of light? What if you were that beam of light in the darkness? You were that light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, and you went to the store and you just emanated this, and you changed the energy of the room, and you were able to block out the interferences or sexual energy, whatever it may be. You were able to just not bring that back into your space. So because we have to learn, because you can't just hide in your basement or your house and just eat on Cheetos. It just doesn't work like that. We have to sometimes go out in the world and experience the world, but experience the world in a much different way than we normally were experiencing it. So it's a level of discernment and detachment and faith that we have within ourselves to know that we don't have to take on the false illusion, but we can take on the actualized illusion, our own creation, our own realm, our own space. We have to create our own space to create differently. If we have the same space and it's like this big, I mean, that's pretty good, but if you don't have enough space to where you are able to create differently in many different forms and essences and generalized creation, then you're not going to be able to get out of that box or that revolving door. It's always just going to be kind of like this, and you don't want to stay there, but you always want to stretch yourself out as much as you can, because it gives us a level of knowing, being, discerning, loving, compassionate, unconditional. And it kind of drives home the sense that you don't have to be any energy except your own. You have to be your own source of energy. If you are just your own source of energy, then the detachment is purified. Then the enlightenment is pure. Then that means that you are only the space that you assume yourself to be. You are your preference. And that's where everything falls into alignment, where it comes back to a grounded form and an essence that allows you to be known, that allows you to be pure in everything that you do. And it gives you a level of insight within yourself. You know, even if there's noise going around, there could be roofers, there could be movers, there could be anything going on in your life, but it doesn't mean that you have to be put on halt. You don't have to be put on hold, if you will. You can continue to be who you want to be in that moment. And you don't have to stop being that just because there's people doing things all around you. But that detachment and that formlessness and that awareness and that nothingness and that beingness is driving the force home that you are a billion-layer protection grid of psychic atomic energy. That you are that billion-layer protection grid. You are the protection that you're seeking. You are the enlightenment that you're seeking. You are the truth that you're seeking. You are the God that you're seeking. Meaning that it doesn't mean that there is not a God, but it just means that God is an illusion, and the biggest illusion to see is to see God within yourself. To see the essence and the light and the love and the joy of the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom inside of yourself, and detaching from the illusion so that you can be your own form of energy. So I hope everyone's enjoying this live so far, and obviously my hat is getting sweaty because it's really, really hot out here. Here in Tampa, Florida. You guys can book private sessions, and we're also going to do a meditation, so if you want to take part in this meditation, if you need to go do something, that's okay too. But we're going to do a meditation, and with this meditation I want you to be able to detach and be able to let go of certain forms, certain ideas, certain ways of being, patterns, emotions, thoughts, Knowing that you can choose your thoughts, knowing that you can choose everything, know that you can do free will. So allow yourself to relax your definition. Allow yourself to relax back into what you want to become. Know that you don't have to have psychic interference all the time. Know that you don't have to mix energies. Know that when you go to the store, that you don't have to take on the baggage of the world, but you can be the energy that transcends the energy at the store, the energy at a conference, the energy of everything. You could be sitting in a room and somehow they all feel more magical and better and happy about themselves because of your presence there. This means that you have the ability to detach from the illusion and change the energy around you, to change the appearances, the circumstances, the experiences, the manifestations, and what is being attracted to you, but also what's being attracted to others, and being able to follow through and be that immovable force of electromagnetic kinetic source energy. And it makes you feel empowered to do this because you want free will, you want freedom of choice, freedom of words, and the freedom to live the best life that you possibly can. And then once you purify everything that cannot be purified any further, which doesn't mean that you won't purify anything, it just means that you've let go of the attachment of having to purify that said thing. And then you're on to the next, which gives you a level of progression. It gives you a level of awareness. And it just keeps you wanting more out of myself, out of my meditations, out of my life, and not having a false expectation on how you should be, but the zest and the excitement of it, not the expectation of it. It just allows you to be very powerful in the way that you want to be powerful. That you can repel the energy, that you can push back the energy. You don't have to assume yourself to be something. You don't have to put expectations on yourself. You don't have to expect anything from your others. And you can really just imbibe your free will in this moment. That it can be very crystal clear. That it can be so clear. And that no matter what noise is going on, even though that loud, abrupt noise tries to creep in, and kind of throw you off and be like, oh, I'm going to snap out of my meditative state. But what if you could stay in that meditative state without anything being around you? That you just were the void. The emptiness, the blank space, the black hole of creation. Meaning that there is nothing there, but there is only the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. There's only love, truth, compassion, and detachment. Knowing that you have the ability to control, but not be manipulative. Because most of the time when we think of being controlling, we have to manipulate the situation. But we're not manipulating the situation, are we? By tapping into this energy. But we change the form, the essence, the meaning of it, and we sort it out in that moment. Knowing that you don't have to be anything. You don't have to be tall, short, funny, handsome, beautiful. You don't have to be any of those things because you are already all of the things that you want to become. Because it doesn't matter on the physical appearance. It doesn't matter about the physicality of anything. But when the non-physical is embraced with the physical, that's true detachment. That's truthfully being detached from mind and body, so that you can embrace the soul, so that you can blend the soul with the mind and the body. And this is where we begin to transform. This is where we really up the game, up the level, the height, and the extension of it, progressing, choosing to be better, to be wise, to be precise, and to not be indecisive, but to be automatic in our omnipresence. Be automatic in your free will, be automatic in your choices, and just be automatic with your words. And literally become that autonomous knowledge, which is channeling from your own source and not using anything else to develop the sense of anything. Because it's autonomous, because it knows itself. It's intelligence. It is power. It is love. And it is detachment. So everyone take a deep breath. Exhale. And so it is. So that was the meditation, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live. And also you guys can book private sessions with me. This is White Wolf. I have Cashapp, PayPal, and Venmo. It's $120 for an hour and 2 hours for $220. So I hope you really enjoyed the meditation. I hope you enjoyed the message. And just don't forget that detachment is a rare form of purification. It's a rare form of getting away from delusion and getting away from automated messaging of distortion. So that you're not just automated, that you have meaningless thoughts, meaningless choices, that you always want it the same. But now you're just kind of breaking the threshold and continuing to ascend higher. So you can see it from a higher vantage point. And that you just become unfazed, you just don't care, and you just want to be awesome and courageous and free. So God bless, namaste, I appreciate you all. And until next time, this is White Wolf. See you.